Broncos fans, last night was a disaster, plain and simple. So here is my proposal. For every single subscription we get off of today's video, I am going to write head coach Vic Fangio a letter. If we get 30 subscriptions, that's 30 stamped letters out the door going to Mile High, demanding change. Not standing around watching an offense score 9 points on Sunday Night Football. Can't have it. We're demanding change, and we're doing it through the U.S. Postal Service. So subscribe today, and every single one we get, that's a letter out the door. Be a part of the change. Subscribe right now. Welcome into the Broncos Breakdown. I'm your host, Matthew Peterson, and I'm a little fired up because 22-9 was just pathetic. So let's get into today's Broncos rumors and kind of overreactions, a little bit of a combo between the two on today's show. We'll kick things off by talking about Teddy Bridgewater replacements because that guy, nice and all, and we'll talk about him in a little bit, but just not the future in Denver. Vic Fangio had some questionable, we'll put it at least to say, things in his press conference following the loss. And as Javonte Williams is stud, it sure looked like it. So let's dive into the Teddy talk because Teddy is nice and all, but Teddy's nice, not the future. He's a nice guy. I would like to hang out with Teddy. I would like to have a beer with Teddy. I like to shoot the shit with Teddy. I don't want Teddy on Sunday Night Football on the road in what felt like a must-win, even though it really wasn't a must-win, but it'd be a program and like franchise in the last 5 years changing kind of win. Ever since the Super Bowl, if the Broncos won that game, would have been the biggest game since. It just kind of had that feel to it because of the division wasn't really on the line, but a chance to jump in front of the Chiefs and do it at Arrowhead, say less. So what do you think about this one? Would the Broncos have won on Sunday Night Football in Week 13 with a good quarterback? Type Y for yes or N for no. Bridgewater and the game plan I didn't think was actually all that terrible. I didn't like the going forward after a 20-play drive, take the points in the first half. I think in the first half you take the points, take your medicine, and then in the second half, read how the game's going and make the analytic adjustments then. But Bridgewater was just flat out missing throws. He threw 2 picks, could have been 5 probably. So let me know what you think in the comment section below. If the Broncos are going to make a change at quarterback, well, not are, when they make a change, it's going to be either through the draft, through a trade, or through free agency. There's no good free agent options out there, so let's look at the draft options here. This is Mel Kiper's latest quarterback rankings going into the 2022 NFL Draft. If you're looking at this list and you don't recognize a lot of names, that's not your fault. This is not a good quarterback class, plain and simple. If you take Kenny Pickett right here, I don't think he is drafted in the first round of last year. I think he's the 6th quarterback taken after 5 quarterbacks. That's how bad it is this year. Maybe I'm going to be proven wrong. Who knows? But I just don't think this is a good quarterback class. And the Broncos are currently scheduled to pick 14th in the draft. If the draft was tomorrow based on the current standings, that's where they would be. I think Denver's going to go about 9-8, 8-9 throughout the rest of at the end of the year. And 9-8, 8-9 gets you between that 12 and 15 range. So they're right where they're going to be, and you can easily get a quarterback from that list at 14. Not a problem, but I wouldn't do it. I would not draft a quarterback in round 1. Don't force it. This is not I stand by, this is not a good quarterback class. And every single year when the regular season ends and the next big thing is the NFL draft, we all get talked up into these new quarterbacks and who's going to be the first one taken. And just because you're taken in the first round doesn't mean you're a guarantee hit. Talking to you, EJ Manuel, 2013 NFL draft. Not a good draft for quarterbacks. Geno Smith went. He's a backup in Seattle. That was a disaster when he came in. Manuel's out of the league, and I don't even have to look that up. He's probably selling some kind of insurance right now. Sorry, EJ. So this is where I stand on the quarterback class going into this draft. But do you think the Broncos should draft a quarterback? I wouldn't mind taking one maybe in the 2nd or 3rd round because it's worth a feeler. If you hit a home run in the 2nd or 3rd, it's not so much as a high-cost, high-risk scenario. If you draft another Drew Lock in the 2nd, yeah, that sucks, but at least it's only a 2nd round. So D for draft or P for pass. Let's say Denver wanted to trade for a quarterback. These are 5 guys I think would be the most likely candidates. Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, the 2 biggest ones. And then there's a huge drop-off to 3, 4, and 5 with Kirk Cousins, who I don't see Minnesota trading, but look at the rest of the quarterbacks in the NFL. He's more likely than the other ones. And if you're going to make a trade after those two, probably go after Cousins. I wouldn't want to do it, though. That's where I stand. Same for Baker and Jimmy G. I don't know what Garoppolo's future in San Francisco looks like, but it's not going to be long-term after the Trey Lance pick. Baker, he's in a weird limbo with the Browns, so that's a question mark. But the big thing is just Wilson and Rodgers. The other guys are just names to have on the screen because we need more than two names. So that's what the 5 looks like, but we're honing in on Wilson and Rodgers. I'm going all chips in on these guys. Complete everything in the middle of the table. You got 5 picks in the top 100. Your own first, second, and third, along with the Rams' second and third. That's a ton of capital to move for a player. It'd be great if the Broncos can get a home run pick on, say, Kenny Pickett or Sam Howell in the 3rd round and use those other picks to build around him. But that's a big gamble because it's been 6 years now since the sheriff left town, and you've been in the revolving door of Trevor Siemian and Paxton Lynch. You really want to add Sam Howell to that list? I would not want to embark down that journey. So let's say you made a trade for Rodgers, for example. This is a pretty sick lineup. Rodgers, Williams, and then 3 wide receivers who are locked down for years to come. First-round pick in Judy. Sutton Patrick recently got the bag. Speaking of which, why are you going to pay him if, say, Sutton's only going to get 2 receptions in what's the biggest game of the season so far? Doesn't make any sense to me. This is an example of you just have to make it make sense, okay? If you're going to give those guys the bag and pay them, give them the ball. Why are you giving the money to not give them the ball? I can do that. You can pay me and don't give me the ball. But that's why I'm not on the team. You have them on the team so you can give them the ball. I mean, I'm just kind of going in circles, but it's kind of obvious. This is, 5th grader backyard football talk. So who do you want the Broncos to trade for? Let's get back on track here. It's got to be Rodgers or Wilson, okay? I've got my favorite. I like Wilson more just because of the age factor, and Rodgers looks like he is just 1 3 to 4 game stretch away from hanging it up, smoking some pot, having some LSD, and kicking back some with the IPAs in the mountains. I don't want a part of that. Wilson, he is literally doing huddles with no one around him on the field when he's out. He's a weird guy, but he's a good quarterback, so I would take Wilson. Let's move on to Fangio, because his press conference really ticked me off. Here's what he said right there at the bottom. Got to be able to score more points. That's the big brain thinking. No shit, Sherlock, you got to score more points. Come on. 9 points on Sunday Night Football, and that's what you have to say? We got to score more points? You get paid to be the head coach. I'm the head coach of my fantasy team. We're not doing that well, but I've got better explanations for my stockholders than we got to score more points. Also, his next quote, if you thought that was a frustrating, the next one is going to tick you off even more, all right? Before we get to it, we got a great deal going on over with Fanatics. Look at this sick polo right here. It's 50% off. The link, chatsports.com/Broncos Polo, brings you right to it. It's in the comments and the description of this video. So get this dope Broncos Polo right now. Holiday season. Don't be late on the holiday shopping. Get it today because, listen, Christmas morning is going to roll around, and someone's going to be opening up a gift from you. Do not let it be a lousy coaster. Let it be this awesome polo. Fangio's other quote, we've got to get more takeaways. No, you don't. Sure, it'd be great to pick Mahomes off 10 times in a game, but the defense did everything they could, and this has been a reoccurring theme. Go back to the Eagles game. If you remember, the Broncos and Justin Simmons had a great interception on the Eagles' half of the field, and the offense did nothing with it. The defense has done their part, okay? You can't, no, leave the defense alone. I am getting so twisted around after reading these quotes and wondering, how are you literally pointing to the defense saying defense has to get more takeaways? That's just coach talk for my offense is really bad and I don't want to just sack up and say it. Got to score more points. You think? And then defense needs more takeaways? Defense did their share. The defense held the Chiefs to 22 points on Sunday Night Football. One of those came off a pick six. And then on the other half, so not even 22 points, 15 points. And then on the other half of things, the defense held Patrick Mahomes to under 200 yards and forced an interception on him. He didn't even throw a touchdown pass, and the Chiefs just farted around the whole Sunday night and still found a way to win and cover. Don't blame the defense. All right, Javonte Williams, though. He looked awesome. I loved what I saw of him. I've been banging this drum since really the draft pick. Loved him coming out of UNC. He just needed a big spotlight to kind of run away with things. Went off for over 173 yards from scrimmage, got a touchdown. Some of it came in garbage time. Yeah, who cares, okay? Even though I don't like garbage Teddy Bridgewater stuff. Williams, he just showed that he is going to run over you, and what's really special about him is that he is great in not only the second half of games, but we're seeing the second half of season now. He's not going to run out of bounds. He's going to run you over. And when he runs you over and he wears defenses down in December, no one wants to touch this kid. This cat is hard to bring down. Through the season so far, 670 yards. He's been handcuffed with Melvin Gordon and still putting up big numbers, averaging nearly 5 yards a carry. He gets stuffed sometimes. He's a rookie. He needs to work on reading the holes better, and every now and then he tries to bite off more than he can chew. But he's got 4 touchdowns on the year, and I've loved what I've seen out of Williams, but also Surtain. Got to pick. Probably the easiest pick he's ever going to get off of Mahomes, and what hopefully will be a long duel between those two. But who has been the more impressive rookie so far this season? Type PS if you think it's Patrick Surtain, or JW if you think it's Javonte Williams down below.